Go.
Okay, now.
Can I do one thing? Do it again. Go ahead. Okay. Now let's do it that you come right in front of the camera. Oh, the only problem is my shadow.
Ready?
It's not the best.
Ready?
Fine.
So I don't always do product reviews except when something is so out of the ordinary awesome that I really want to share it with you. I want to talk to you today about the Altra Torin 3.0. This is the new baby in the Altra Torin line, and I have to say this is my first time wearing the Torin. Just to give you a little background on me and my experience with Altra, I've mentioned before in my previous video about the Lone Peak that I've been wearing Altras pretty much forever. I wore almost every model I think that they have except for the Torin. I stopped wearing Altras about a year and a half ago, for road running anyway. And the reason why is because I used to wear the Altra Intuition, which is essentially the same kind of shoe, but just with a little less cushion. I had been wearing it for years and years and years, and when they switched to the 3.0 model, I found the cushioning absolutely abominable. It felt terrible to me. I switched over to Hoka's. And the reason why I did that is because it's the only shoe I could find with the lowest drop. At the time, the Hoka Waka was the one I was wearing, and it had a 2mm drop. So that really worked for me. Let's remember that Altra, of course, is a zero drop shoe. I got on the zero drop shoe bandwagon basically because it's the only thing that really works well for my running stride. I took some video yesterday of me running, and maybe it'll make sense after you see it. I actually am a 4-foot to toe runner, and I kind of just like bounce along on my toes the whole time. So when I have extra cushioning in the heel, it actually is more of a detractor than anything else. I typically only wear off the front part of the treads on any running shoe, since I don't cross over using running shoes for walking, so I pretty much only wear out the front part of the tread. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. So let's remember that Altra is famous for being a zero drop shoe, which means that there is no difference in the cushioning between the forefoot and the heel. The whole theory behind it is that it essentially encourages a more natural stride and is better for you in the long run. Also, this being an Altra shoe, you'll notice the foot-shaped toe box, and this is something that you'll get on all Altra shoes. It works great for people like me who have wide Flintstone feet. As you've heard me talk about before, my feet are essentially square, so this kind of works for me. So far, I've only put about 30 miles on these shoes. The reason why I'm doing this shoe review is because, as dorky as it may sound, as soon as I put these shoes on, it felt like coming home. All of the best features that I remember from the old Altra Intuition that I had loved, but then kind of like broke my heart, are back in this shoe. I wasn't really sure about the Torin since it has more cushioning, but I'm so glad I took the leap because this shoe is amazing. I want to talk to you about my first impressions. So as soon as I put the shoe on, the one thing that was really apparent to me is that despite the wide toe box, it doesn't feel like a big, heavy, clunky shoe. In fact, it feels pretty connected to your foot. You don't feel like it's going to be flapping all over the place. It fits your foot really well. The second thing I noticed was that as soon as I started running, magical stride came right back to me. My foot feels as though it's dropping down right under my knee, closer to my body, which for me means a more efficient stride, less stress on my knee since I'm not striding out, and is something that I can efficiently do for a long period of time if I'm a long distance runner. The cushioning felt amazing. It was not too soft, not too hard, and honestly, it made me feel faster. No, this is not a sponsored post, but this shoe actually made me feel like I was lighter on my feet and running quicker. Let's talk a little bit about the design here. First of all, I have mentioned before that sometimes the Altra colorways are a bit challenging, but I actually like this shoe. The pink laces are kind of cute, and I like the two-tone blue. The upper on the 3.0 is really flexy. It's a little bit almost like a mesh, and it's very, very comfortable. I didn't feel that it was too hot when I ran yesterday in 90 degrees, and it really seems to wrap around my foot. In the heel, we have cushioning, but not excessive. If you can see there, it's plenty where you feel supported, but it's not too much. The only thing that could be potentially problematic on the upper of this shoe is, if you can see here, there's kind of a plastic or sort of a rubber piece that runs along the top of your big toe. I'm pretty sure that it's here for a stability factor since the mesh is quite flexy, but this is a place where if your toenails are too long, you might have a problem. It does rub a little bit, and I can see over a long period of time it potentially causing an issue if you don't keep your toenails short or if you feel that your toe is kind of rubbing up against it. The one thing I would say is to make sure that you select the right size. You definitely do not want this to be short in the toe box for that reason. In my case, I wear about an 8.5 in street shoes, and I chose a 9 in the Torin, and it was perfect for me. One other thing I love about this shoe is the footbed. The footbed is amazing because it's super thin, it's very flexy, it does not make your feet hot. And actually, I love the fact that there's really very little arch there, because I really do believe that the more cushioning you have inside a footbed on the inside of a shoe, the more difficult it is for your foot to flex naturally. So this thin footbed for me is perfect. So all I keep saying is wonderful things about this shoe, right? It's super comfortable, it's light, my stride feels amazing, I actually feel faster. What could be wrong? Okay, well, there's only one thing that's wrong for me, and it's actually quite specific, and I don't think it applies to everyone, but a certain type of runner. Most runners pronate, which means when they hit the ground, they hit with the inside first and then roll out. I happen to be a rare type of runner, which is a supinator, which means I hit with the outside of the shoe first and then roll in. I actually took some slow-mo of me doing this on the road, and I will show it to you. Take a look at the tread pattern here on the bottom of the Torin. You can see the pink parts here are actually the more resilient and durable rubber, and the gray parts are actually foam. Because I am a supinator, I am hitting this part of the foam, not the durable rubber, every time I hit the ground. Now, this is not the case for most people. See that? You can see that the outside of the shoe is really starting to wear off. I think this is probably going to be a problem as the miles pile on. I can typically wear Altra shoes for around 400 miles, so I can see that that is going to be an issue. I do understand that Altra is trying to encourage proper foot strike, and I'm sure it's more efficient for them to create a shoe that pretty much is fine for most of the running population. I really wish they would extend the rubber just to at least this one section right here, and it would make a lot more sense for those of us that do supinate. One other tiny thing that's funny about Altra shoes is that they never have reflective details. And I'm not sure if that's a positive or a negative for you. Sometimes I do run at night, and it would be nice just to have a little flash, let's say, on the back of the heel, or maybe at the top of the tongue or something like that. And I know they don't do that. I'm sure there's a reason. It's not a big thing. It's sort of picky, but it's just something to think about. All in all, I cannot tell you how satisfied I am with the Altra Torin 3.0. It's really an amazing shoe. It feels so good. It makes me want to run, and I am more than thrilled. It can be really hard switching shoe brands and trying different shoes, especially when the last version of another shoe wasn't so great, and coming back to this, like I said, it just feels amazing. So if you are considering the Torin 3.0, I say it's a go. In conclusion, I'm kind of in love with this shoe. Hey, so remember, I'm still in this campaign to get 1,000 subscribers by the end of August. And although my numbers are ticking up, I could use a little bit of a push. You can check out my website, acaseofthejills.com. You can also follow me on Instagram at acaseofthejills. I hope this review was helpful to you today, and I really hope that you like this video, and please subscribe. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button. It's right there. And thanks for watching this video today. I will see you soon.